The smell of catered lasagna filled the church basement where we'd gathered after Grandma's funeral. I stood near the dessert table, watching my sister Brooke hold court like a queen addressing her subjects. "Grandma made her wishes very clear to me," Brooke announced, her voice carrying across the room with practiced projection. She'd always been dramatic. High school theater had trained her well. "The Malibu beach house goes to me. She told me personally just last month." I bit into a sugar cookie and said nothing. Aunt Linda clutched her pearls. "The entire property? That house has been in the family for 40 years. "I know." Brooke's eyes glistened with what I recognized as her signature tears, the ones that appeared on command. "It's such a responsibility, but Grandma trusted me with it. She knew I'd take care of her legacy. The legacy she'd take care of by posting it on Instagram, I thought. I'd already seen her Pinterest board titled, Beach House Renovation Dreams, with its $200,000 worth of design ideas. Uncle Ray clapped Brooke on the shoulder. "Helen always did have a special bond with you." "She did," Brooke agreed, dabbing her eyes with a napkin. "That's why she wanted me to have everything. The house, the car, her jewelry. All of it." My cousin Jessica leaned forward. "What about Vanessa?" Brooke's gaze flicked to me then away. Grandma felt that Vanessa had moved on from the family. Living in Seattle, barely visiting. She understood that I was the one who truly cared. A knot formed in my stomach, but I kept my expression neutral. I'd learned over the years that reacting to Brooke only fueled her performances. "That seems harsh," Uncle Ray said, though his tone suggested he believed every word. "Vanessa, you okay with this?" I smiled. "I'm fine." "See." Brooke spread her hands. "Even Vanessa understands. Grandma made the right choice." Mom rushed over and hugged Brooke tight. "Your grandmother knew your heart, sweetheart. You visited her every single week." The visits I'd arranged. The companion care service I'd hired at $35 per hour, 3 times a week, because I couldn't be there in person but refused to let Grandma sit alone. The service that cost me $1,820 a month for 18 months. But who was counting? "The beach house must be worth at least $2 million in today's market," Cousin Marcus said, clearly doing mental math. "You planning to keep it or sell?" Brooke's eyes lit up. "Oh, I'm definitely keeping it. I've already talked to a contractor about renovations. Open concept kitchen, new master suite, infinity pool overlooking the ocean." "You've already talked to a contractor?" I asked quietly. "Well, yes." Brooke shrugged. "Grandma and I discussed my vision for the place. She loved my ideas." "When did you have these discussions?" "Over the past few months." Brooke's voice took on an edge. "During my weekly visits. You know, the visits you never made." The room temperature dropped several degrees. I could feel the judgment radiating from every corner. "Vanessa has a demanding job," Dad said, though his tone lacked conviction. "She couldn't just drop everything and fly down every week." "I managed to make time," Brooke shot back. "I rearranged my whole schedule for Grandma." The schedule she didn't have. Brooke hadn't held a steady job in 3 years. Her career as a lifestyle influencer had never generated enough income to cover her rent, which meant I'd been quietly sending her $1,500 a month for the past 2 years. $36,000 in total, not that anyone was aware. "Some things are more important than career," Aunt Linda said, looking at me pointedly. I took another bite of cookie. Snickerdoodle this time. "Grandma's recipe." "The will reading is next week, right?" Jessica asked. "There won't be a formal reading," Brooke said quickly. "Grandma told me everything. She didn't want the drama of lawyers and legal proceedings. She wanted this to be simple." "Still, there must be paperwork," Uncle Ray said. "Estate transfers, title documents." "I'll handle all of that," Brooke interrupted. "Grandma put me in charge of everything." I finished my cookie and brushed crumbs from my black dress. The dress I'd bought specifically for this funeral because my work clothes felt too corporate, too distant from grief. The dress that cost $89 at Nordstrom Rack, while Brooke's designer morning outfit, complete with Chanel sunglasses, had a price tag I didn't want to imagine. "Vanessa, you're being awfully quiet," Mom observed. "Don't you have anything to say?" "I'm listening." "You're not upset?" Brooke pressed, and I caught something in her voice. Uncertainty. She needed me to react, to protest, to give her a reason to paint me as the jealous older sister. Why would I be upset? Because Grandma left you nothing. Brooke's voice rose. Because I got everything and you got zero. Most people would be angry. Most people aren't me. Brooke's jaw clenched. She turned back to the assembled relatives. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to honor Grandma's memory by making the beach house spectacular. She would have wanted it to shine. She'd be so proud, Aunt Linda cooed. The basement door opened and a woman in her 60s entered. She wore a tailored navy suit and carried a leather briefcase that screamed expensive attorney. Her sharp eyes scanned the room until they landed on me. Vanessa Reed, she called out. My heart started pounding, but I kept my voice steady. That's me. The woman approached, her heels clicking on the linoleum floor. I'm Christine Morrison, your grandmother's estate attorney. I apologize for interrupting, but I need to speak with you about your inheritance documents. The room went dead silent. Pie what? I asked, playing my part. Your inheritance documents, Christine repeated, pulling a manila folder from her briefcase. There are several papers that require your immediate signature. What documents? Brooke's scream echoed off the basement walls. Christine turned to her with professional courtesy. I'm sorry, and you are? Brooke Reed. Helen's granddaughter. The one she left everything to. Christine's eyebrows rose slightly. I see. And who gave you that information? Grandma did. She told me I was getting the beach house, the car, the jewelry, all of it. Did she put that in writing? Brooke's face flushed. She didn't need to. We had an understanding. Unfortunately, understandings don't hold up in probate court. Christine's voice was kind but firm. Your grandmother had a legally executed will, updated 6 months ago, that tells a very different story. There must be some mistake, Dad said, stepping forward. Brooke visited Helen every week. They were very close. I'm sure they were, Christine agreed. However, the will is quite clear about Mrs. Reed's intentions. She opened the folder and pulled out a document. The beach house in Malibu, the 2022 Mercedes, the complete jewelry collection, and the investment portfolio totaling approximately $847,000 all go to Vanessa Reed. The silence that followed was so complete I could hear my own heartbeat. That's impossible, Brooke whispered. I assure you it's not. The will was properly witnessed and notarized. Your grandmother was evaluated by her physician and deemed completely competent at the time of execution. But she promised me. Brooke's voice cracked. She promised. Christine's expression softened. Ms. Reed, I understand this is difficult. But your grandmother left something for you as well. She pulled out a smaller envelope. A letter and a check for $25,000. $25,000? Brooke snatched the envelope. The beach house alone is worth $2 million and you're giving me $25,000? I'm not giving you anything. I'm executing your grandmother's wishes. Brooke tore open the envelope. Her hands shook as she read the letter. Then her face went white. What does it say? Mom asked. Brooke's voice was barely audible. She knew. Knew what? Everything. Brooke looked at me, and for the first time in years, I saw genuine emotion in her eyes. Fear. She knew about the money Vanessa sent me. The care service Vanessa paid for. The mortgage payments Vanessa covered when you two lost the house. Mom gasped. What mortgage payments? I'd been hoping this wouldn't come out. Not like this. Vanessa paid your mortgage for 14 months, Christine said, consulting her notes. A total of $31,800. She also provided financial support to Brooke in the amount of $36,000 over 2 years. And she paid for companion care services for Mrs. Reed totaling $32,760. Dad did the math silently. I could see it in his eyes. Over $100,000. Why didn't you tell us? Mom whispered. Because you didn't ask, I said simply. You assumed I'd abandoned Grandma because I lived far away. You never considered that there were other ways to show up. Brooke was still staring at the letter. She says here that she watched me take credit for Vanessa's care. She says she heard me on the phone bragging about the beach house before she was even gone. You did what? Uncle Ray's voice was cold. I was planning ahead. You were counting your inheritance before the woman was in the ground, Christine said bluntly. Mrs. Reed was quite clear in her private notes about how that made her feel. There are more notes? Brooke asked weakly. Extensive notes. including detailed accounts of Vanessa's phone calls, the topics they discussed, the way Vanessa remembered every story and every detail of her grandmother's life. Christine turned to me. She called you her quiet champion. She said you loved her without needing an audience. Tears burned my eyes. I blinked them back. The beach house was your favorite place as a child, Christine continued. Mrs. Reed wanted you to have it. She wanted you to make memories there with your own family someday. I don't have a family, I whispered. Not yet. But she believed you would. And when you do, she wanted you to have that house. Brooke crumpled into a chair, still clutching the letter. I've already told the contractor to start work next month. I've already posted about it online. Everyone thinks it's mine. Then you'll have to tell them the truth, I said. She looked up at me, mascara running down her face. Do you hate me? The question surprised me. I thought about it honestly. No, I said finally. I don't hate you. I'm just tired of being invisible while you perform. I didn't know about the money. I didn't know you were helping Mom and Dad. You didn't ask. None of you did. Mom started crying. Vanessa, I'm so sorry. We took advantage of you. You took advantage of my silence, I corrected gently. I let you. That's partly on me. Christine cleared her throat. Ms. Reed, there's one more thing. Your grandmother left instructions that the beach house is not to be sold for at least 10 years. She wanted you to use it, enjoy it, remember her there. I will, I promised. And she left a substantial wine collection in the cellar. She said you'd appreciate it more than Brooke would. Despite everything, I smiled. Grandma and I had spent hours talking about wine during her chemo treatments. She taught me about terroir and vintage years while poison dripped into her veins. Christine handed me a set of keys. The house is yours. Everything's been transferred to your name. There's a full inventory of the jewelry and other items in the folder. I took the keys, feeling their weight. When can I see it? Whenever you'd like. It's yours now. Brooke stood up slowly. I really am sorry, Vanessa. I was selfish and blind, and I'm sorry. I know. Can we start over? Maybe be actual sisters instead of whatever we've been. I looked at her. Really looked at her, and saw someone lost, someone who'd built an identity on being the favorite and didn't know who she was without it. Maybe, I said. But it starts with honesty. Real honesty. He nodded, tears streaming freely now. I turned to my parents. I love you both. But things need to change. No more silent support. No more pretending everything's fine when it's not. Agreed, Dad said, his voice rough. We owe you more than we can ever repay. I don't want repayment. I want recognition. I want to be seen. You are, Mom said. We see you now. Finally. Christine packed up her briefcase. Ms. Reed, call my office Monday and we'll finalize everything. Thank you. As she left, the family slowly dispersed, people drifting away in small groups, whispering. I stood there holding Grandma's keys, feeling the weight of her love, her trust, her final gift. The beach house. Our beach house now. I could already smell the salt air, hear the waves, feel the sun on my face. And I could see Grandma there, smiling, finally at peace, knowing I'd been seen. Not for what I gave, but for who I was. Her quiet champion. Her beloved granddaughter. The one who showed up without needing applause.